Determining the greatest sandbox games is no easy feat, as it's an enormous genre that covers dozens, if not more, of the most popular games available right now. Join this channel to get access to perks. Wurm Unlimited. Another MMORPG sandbox, whose inhabitants can influence its world with their actions and actions. Despite not the most modern graphics and the complexity of mastering, it can drag on for a long time. Once you get used to the controls and the game rules, you will suddenly find that for the third hour in a row, you have been trying to level the site for your own castle. At the same time, you are planning to craft cool equipment and learn a couple of professions for your character. Further, more large-scale wars, battles with monsters, and other adventures await you. Crea. Let's return from military games to more peaceful ones. Crea is just one of them. It is a two-dimensional sandbox with a huge world inhabited by friendly and not-so-friendly creatures. Here you have to do the usual things for the genre. Explore the territory, extract resources, look for treasures in the bowels of the dungeons, build your own personal house, create equipment, and so on. Among the distinguishing features of the game are pumping like in TES. The skills that are used are pumped, and modding support. Portal Nights. Co-op sandbox with, suddenly, portals at nights. The former open fantasy worlds to the players. The latter travel through them and fight all sorts of monsters. Of course, in accordance with the canons of the genre. It is not complete without construction, crafting, and other entertainment. In general, another Minecraft, only a little more beautiful, fun, and diverse. Ashes of Creation. A fantasy MMORPG with an open world to explore, house building, player influence over the economy, and real-time quest chains. The game is developed by former SO employees who worked on EverQuest and PlanetSide, so the gameplay promises to be at least curious. Satisfactory. A co-op game from Coffee Stain Studios, the creators of Goat Simulator. Satisfactory invites players to build a factory together, again on a distant, unknown planet. Most of the gameplay is also occupied by exploration and combat. Rising World. If you imagine Minecraft with realistic graphics, you can get Rising World, an indie sandbox that got rid of the cutic design and gives the user even more room for imagination. The attention to detail in this game is amazing. Felled trees fall to the ground in a naturalistic way. Mines can be made into tunnels, and buildings can be given a truly unique design. At your service, over 200 different building materials, more than 200 pieces of furniture, tools, weapons, and other content. By design, this is also a survival sandbox with already familiar mechanics, but the gameplay is more relaxing. In Scrap Mechanic, you will find yourself in the role of masters of working with your hands on a distant planet, where thousands of crazy robot workers will act as your opponents. True, they cannot suspect that you can disassemble them to the last nut. You will invest your creativity and imagination not only in building a reliable base, but also in creating a unique vehicle. Like in Garry's mod, here you can attach wheels to a primitive platform and it will actually run. But we are sure that you will get something more complicated and interesting. Factorio is a much bigger sandbox than the others in our selection, as it offers you to build an entire planet. And not with pretty houses and farms, but with industrial factories and stations that will deplete and process natural resources around the clock. This game can fool you with simple 2D graphics. It's actually pretty complex, it's packed with content, and it's only gotten more attention since it left early access in 2020. Recommended if you like production sandboxes. Dig or Die is an interesting survival sandbox in which you will direct your forces to build a reliable base in order to protect your life on a wild planet. The game will delight you with a huge world in which the laws of physics, the water cycle, and other phenomena work. So, you have to take care of electricity, and in order to grow something on a farm, you will need artificial lighting and irrigation. Fantastic monsters will constantly attack your cozy possessions, and in order to resist them, you will have to place automatic turrets, take up arms, and make vile traps. In general, you definitely won't get bored here. My Time at Portia is a peaceful life simulator with nice graphics that takes you to the charming town of Portia. Put aside thoughts about survival. Here you have to enjoy a virtual life, restoring your father's workshop, extracting resources, developing a farm, interesting quests, and other things. Lovers of homeliness will be pleased with the abundance of pieces of furniture with which to furnish their home, while those who crave adventure can go into the dungeons of Portia and uncover the secrets of the city. Fortnite. The super popular action game Fortnite has 3 modes: Battle Royale, PV with zombies, and Creative. In connection with the theme of our selection, we draw your special attention to the latter. It offers to create entire worlds and even games based on Fortnite, and then publish them in the community and have fun in them with friends. You can also see what other gamers have come up with and hang out with them. For example, we recommend taking a look at Rio Terra Death Run Race, a competitive map where you need to overcome obstacles, and an underwater TDM shooter with fish armed to the teeth. This is just a small part of what awaits you. Garry's Mod is a real sandbox that allows you to play with the Source engine, which, by the way, created Counter-Strike and games of the Half-Life series. Players will have a gravity gun in their arsenal, with which they can move objects. And what to do in the game is up to you. A complete set of various tools, objects, characters, and other content is available. The emphasis in the gameplay is on physics. You can make objects move, create vehicles, for example, fasten wheels to a bathtub, change the facial expressions and postures of the characters. Some enthusiasts shoot entire movies while in Garry's Mod. Despite the fact that the developers do not set any tasks and goals, the game is very addictive. Human. Fall Flat. Another physical sandbox in which gamers alone or with friends have to solve various puzzles. And such tasks as opening the door, building a bridge over the abyss, and climbing to the top of the tower will be incredible challenges that will bring only positive emotions. The gameplay feature is the ability of heroes to cling to any surface. This gives rise to a lot of funny situations. For example, having stumbled, the player can fall, but catch on the edge. His comrade, as in the movies, will try to pull him out, but the result can be completely opposite. The only drawback is the small number of levels. The game takes 5 to 6 hours of real time, and I want to stay in it for the same amount. Unturned. A survival simulator created by one person and which has become extremely popular. At the beginning, what is happening on the screen will remind gamers of Minecraft. They will see cubic heroes, low poly locations. But the gameplay of Unturned offers a completely different experience. Players will have to truly survive, moving from one deserted town to another in search of resources. The main enemies are zombies and other gamers who want to cash in on someone else's good. If the prospect of a marauder does not attract, you can do peaceful things: farming, animal husbandry, fishing, hunting. Another feature is role-playing servers where you can take on a certain role: bandits, servants of the law, and so on. Unturned is free to play. Call your friends and survive together. RimWorld. Colony simulator with building and survival elements. The player will have to manage the settlers who crashed on an unknown but inhabited planet. He has to get resources, build a shelter, and defend himself from bandits, aggressive animals, and other dangers. RimWorld is another great sandbox game, and here's why. Firstly, almost everything in the game is randomly generated: the nature of the characters, events, the location of resources, locations, and therefore each new adventure is not like the previous one. Secondly, the game has a huge number of activities. You can farm, travel around the planet, develop a settlement. Unlike other games in the collection, RimWorld is characterized by the complexity of the gameplay due to the fact that many details are taken into account. For example, a settler may turn out to be a drug addict, and if he does not receive a dose, he will begin to destroy everything. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. If you, having seen plenty of films with epic medieval battles, want to personally lead such an action, then welcome to Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. In the game, you can recruit an army from various units, place warriors in positions, and watch how they go into battle, and either bring you a crushing victory or fail miserably. You can use swordsmen, archers, regular fists, ballistic weapons, and much more. You are limited in money, so you should consider the composition of the army. An important role is played by tactics. With the correct placement of units, the chances of winning increase significantly. If your favorite game is not included in this list, write in the comments. Thanks for watching. Join this channel to get access to perks. Subscribe, watch our other videos, press thumbs up, turn on notifications, and you will always be aware of what to play today.